Hey, welcome to another episode of Creating Your Beautiful Life. And if you can guess by the change in the picture behind me, we're going to talk about comics. So, comics were a big part of my life growing up. I was born late 50s. Marvel kind of came into vogue for me in the early 60s, specifically Amazing Spider Man. I collected a lot of them: X Men, Thor, Hulk, Daredevil, boy, who else? Silver Surfer. Anyway, lots of them. And then my brothers, they were more on the DC side: Batman, Superman, Flash, Green Lantern, all the Justice League people, Wonder Woman. And yeah, we'd go to this store in northern Minnesota, Sunny Cheros, kind of a five and dime. We'd buy our comic books there. And then, when we weren't outside playing, we were usually reading these comic books. And so back then, yeah, I was just nuts about Spider Man. Watched the cartoon on Saturdays, collected the comics. I had a Spider Man doll that I played with all the time. And yeah, I wish I would have kept all those things. They'd be worth a lot of money now. But, and the comic collection I did start, it started with number 56. It had Doc Ock on the cover. I should have brought that up as well. That was the first one I collected. I still have it. I had it graded and it's in plastic now, sealed in plastic. But yeah, so I collected them for many years, and then over time, I got tired of doing that, and then I ended up selling that collection to one brother, and then he has since sold it to another brother. So at least it's intact, and I probably paid a nickel or a dime or 12 cents for each issue. I'd guess they're probably worth 80, 90 to $100 for some of those now. So it has appreciated over time. But what I did do, with the advent of eBay and some of the things you can do on eBay, I've collected a number of graded comic books that I liked. So the first one, yeah, is this Punisher. I wasn't a big Punisher fan, but yeah, a lot of people are. And so this one actually is worth a little bit of money. So I keep it under lock and key. And and yeah, it's just a cool cover, and again, cool character, cool villain. Yeah, Marvel always had better villains than DC, and Spider-Man especially had lots of great villains, and you'll see those in the movies. And then this one, I like the cover art. Again, with the Green Goblin. He was a pretty well-known villain of Spider-Man. Showed up in a lot of the movies, and so I love that. And then this one I really love, and have a little bit of a story behind it. So this is number 50, and yeah, this one's great coloring with the oranges and reds. But I remember we were living in Winona, and we just moved from a small town to a bigger town. We had started collecting comics, and you just kind of, there's no way to get the older ones back then. There wasn't eBay. This is in late 60s. And then my brother Chuck came back with that number 50 issue along with some other ones, and I was just both Tom and myself were in awe that we had something older than what we had started collecting with. And anyway, so I had to have that issue. It's fairly rare. I couldn't afford a better grade than 4.5, but I do love it, and it tells a great story. And one of the movies actually has kind of a scene that looks just like that cover. I think in the original, one of the original movies with Tobey Maguire, you might see something similar with the. Let's see if I can get it there. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So again, comic books a big part of my growing up. Yeah, I did collect that poster from behind me. I love all those things. There was an earlier one where he talked about all those Charles Atlas comics inside there, and even the X-ray specs or things like that. All that fun stuff that was back in the '60s. So it brings back a lot of great memories. Anyway, yeah, time to wrap this up. Again, if you're watching this on our blog, loving the remarks. This topic came out sooner than later because my brother told me, "Hey, where's the comic book one?" And again, the quote from Uncle Ben to Peter Parker, as Uncle Ben lies dying on the sidewalk with great power comes great responsibility. So we could all live by those words. But anyway, so if on the blog, leave remarks. If If you're seeing it on YouTube, follow and like. If you're, again, on TikTok, you can follow and like us there as well. So, anyway, with that, I bid you a good day and have a good health.